You see the outfit, bit, I'm killing you hoes. Cute face and ass swole, killing you hoes. Yeah, killing you hoes. Killing you hoes. Killing these hoes. They been bozos. Killing these hoes. Let's give a little commotion for the hair. Yeah. This, it's eating. It's eating. Like, can you bitches even spell design? Spell it right now. Oh, I thought so. You bitches can't spell design. This is designs. This is designs, bitches. Learn how to spell it, know it, spell it backwards, get into it. Period. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. And as you could tell by the title, let's do a story time about why the Toyota at Stonecrest is the worst dealership and why you shouldn't go there, and these niggas is whack. So let's get into this story time. So for the longest time, y'all knew that I was searching for a car, right? And I had went to a few dealerships just to check out a few cars, and the same thing kept happening to me. I would see a vehicle that I would like, that I would want, and then as soon as I would get there, they'd be like, oh, the vehicle's already sold, somebody else already bought it, whatever. Or they would be like, oh, it's at our sister store. And I'm not doing all of that. If I can't test drive the car myself, I need to feel this motherfucker. I'm not buying no car that I can't test drive first. Like, that don't make no sense. So that kept happening to me. And I was like, okay, I'm not, like I said, gonna buy anything that I can't test drive. And the rest of the cars that they would try to offer me were cars that I genuinely did not want. And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna have to pay for this car on my own, I'm not paying for no car that I don't want. Like, that don't make no sense. My last few cars that I had gotten, you know, like, I was lucky enough that I had a parent who had bought my other few cars, but they had told me, next car, that's on you, sister, you gotta buy your own car. And I said, okay, cool, that ain't no problem. So if I gotta buy my own car, I'm not buying no shit I don't want. So like I said, that kept happening to me. So I took a little break from trying to get a car, right? Then I had finally decided, let me just go to the dealerships by, you know, my area. So I go to Toyota dealership, right? And I check out this car, and it was amazing, right? The car was a Volkswagen Tiguan, and it was like a 2021 or a 2022, and it was all white, and it was so perfect because for the longest time, I would always tell my friends and family, like, you know, my next car that I get, I want a crossover. I want a crossover. And the reason I wanted a crossover was first because I was tired of having a car that was like low to the ground. I was like, I'm big as fuck. And although I've lost a lot more weight since my heaviest weight, I used to be 300 pounds. I will literally show y'all a picture of what I used to look like when I was that heavy. But anyways, I've lost a lot of weight, and I'm currently 240. And even still with being 240, bitch, I'm big as fuck. I don't want no low ass car. Like, I want to be comfortable getting in and out the car. And also too, I felt like having a low car, it always got more effed up easily and stuff from all like debris in the street or potholes or whatever, because y'all know how Atlanta is. The roads be a freaking mess. Not even Atlanta, the whole Georgia within itself, because it's like anywhere I go, nice areas, hood areas, the streets is ass, okay? So anyways, I was like, okay, I'm tired of a low car. Also too, I was like, you know, I have, well, y'all probably don't know this, but I actually have 3 nephews and I have 1 niece. So now that they're a lot older, my oldest nephew don't require a car seat no more. He been not sitting in the car seat for a long time. And you know, the other kids is getting big, so their car seat is being like, you know, reduced down to the smaller ones, you know, the transitional ones. So I'm like, okay, finally I need a car that could fit all the kids. Like, I want all my nephews and my niece in the car so I could take them to go do stuff, because me and my family, like, we have a like monthly subscription, not monthly subscription, but like a yearly pass to the Children's Museum. So I'm like, I want to go take them and do stuff like that. And then since Centennial Park right there, you know, take them to the park, let them run out some more energy and whatever, and just have some fun. Like, I'd be wanting to do more stuff with them, right? And so anyways, that was another reason why I wanted a big car, and I just wanted a car with more space, more trunk space, and more just space in general. So y'all, I go up there and everything, right? And I was told that I could just come up there and I could walk off the lot without, you know, putting nothing down or whatever. But I was told, you know, it would be a little bit more expensive, right? So anyways, I had decided to ask my uncle to borrow some money. And so I was like, okay, I'm still going to come up here with a little bit of something. It's not going to be a whole lot of money, but I don't want to come empty handed, because I did that a few times at the other lots, and it just didn't work out. And it wasn't even because I didn't have the money, but it was because, like I said, they kept selling the cars that I wanted. And like I said, it would be more expensive when you walk off the car with like nothing down. So I was like, okay, I want to like try to take down the price somewhat. So I, like I said, borrow the money. I go up there, y'all. I was up there for 2 hours. They didn't have me sign a lot of the paperwork. I'm about to go to finance to now sign the paperwork again. And out of nowhere, they're like, oh, hey, the bank is requesting pay stubs from the last 30 days. And we see that the pay stubs you gave us was not from the last 30 days. It was from like a month ago. And I said, well, yeah, because y'all only asked me for my most recent pay stubs. Y'all never asked me that, like, if they were within the 30 days. Y'all just said, hey, what's your most recent pay stubs? Those are my most recent pay stubs. And they was like, well, because you don't have any like pay stubs from within 30 days and you don't have a job right now, like, we're gonna have to ask for a lot more money down that I just did not have. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna leave. And y'all, I was so freaking pissed, because like I said, they had me up there for 2 fucking hours. 2 hours. I didn't sign a lot of the paperwork. I'm waiting on the finance people. Like, they had me sitting at the like finance section for a good 45 minutes, y'all. So anyways, I leave and I'm like so disappointed. I'm so irritated, because like I said, not only was my time wasted, but like I didn't walk off with a car. So I said, you know what, maybe that's a sign from God that I'm just not meant to have a car right now. Like, maybe something better is for me in the future. But I still was kind of dead set on getting that car. I knew that I wouldn't be able to get that exact car that I had test drove, because you know how it is with car lots. It's first come, first serve. Whoever come first with the money, they're gonna get it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the Volkswagen dealership. But then I don't know why, something in me said, oh, like, look at the Toyota dealership one more time to see what they have, because I was looking for a pre-owned car, but like a newer edition. I had told them that I'm looking for something between the year of 2017 to like 2022, maybe 2023. But yeah, like, that's what I was looking for, and I wanted a crossover. And so after I left that day, I waited like a good month, right? And at this point, I done got a new job, and I done got like a few paychecks or whatever. And so they was like, oh, like, you know, like, now that you got a few pay stubs, you can get a car. And I was like, okay, cool. So I go up there and I go and I give them all my paperwork. I got money to put down. I'm like, okay, I'm excited. Like, I should be able to walk off with a car today. So yeah, I do the paperwork and everything. We get through it. And then the girl who's trying to sell it to me was like, oh, because of your credit score, we are requesting that you add more money down. So I'm like, fuck, I don't got more money. Like, I'm not waiting to the next paycheck, bitch. I need a car now. So then I called my mom and I was just like, hey, can you fuck with a bad bitch, right? So she fucked with a bad bitch and loaned me some money, and I was able to get the car that day, y'all. So I was so excited, so happy. But something that they had told me was, hey, this car has a recall. You just have to go to the dealership, bring them this paper, and they will fix it for you for free, right? So I ended up getting a flat tire, and I had like clipped the tires, so like I kept, like, no matter how many times I put air in it, it would just stay flat. Like, it was that bad. So I ended up having to go get a new tire. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm gonna go to the Ford dealership, I'm gonna go get the new tire and have them fix the recall piece. So they do everything cool. But when I leave, my check engine light was still on, because mind you, the check engine light had came on before I went and like got the car fixed. So I thought maybe it had something to do with the recall, because when I read my codes, it kept saying cylinder misfire 3, and on the recall it had something to do with the transmission and everything. So I'm like, okay, that had to be like the why is coming on. So I go, they fix my car. When I leave, check engine light still on. I'm like, okay, that's crazy, that's weird or whatever. But I know that happens sometimes after like getting your car fixed. Sometimes they don't reset the check engine light. So I read the code, it's still saying cylinder misfire 3. I'm thinking, oh, it's like it just hasn't like fully registered like the new piece. So I erase the code, go about my business, y'all. So then a few days later, out of nowhere, my check engine light comes right back on, but it's not like just on like it regularly do if something was to happen, y'all. The light was flashing on and off, on and off. And I'm sitting there because I'm scared. I have never seen a check engine light flash on and off, and it did it for like a good 2 minutes. So then I immediately called the dealership. I explained to them what happened, and it was like, oh, just bring it in anytime, we'll fix it. Because like I said, I thought it had something to do with the recall because it said that it was something with my transmission, okay? So I still didn't bring it in that specific day because literally when it happened, I was literally 10 minutes down the street from work. 10 minutes down the street, y'all. So I go to work, and unironically, y'all, this was the day that I fucking got fired, which is so crazy. Like, God was letting me know you should have been turned your ass the fuck around because it don't even matter, bitch. You ain't even gonna really have a job once you leave, bitch. So anyways, after I had left work or whatever, I had completely forgot about the check engine light thing because like I said, it was on for literally 2 minutes, went off, never came back on. So I ended up like doing some Instacart and some Uber or whatever after I got fired because, bitch, you're not gonna stop my grind. I'm still gonna find ways to make money, bitch. So go about my business, and for the next few days I'm doing Uber and all that stuff, when out of nowhere one day I'm driving my sister somewhere and the check engine light come on, and it's flashing on and off the whole time from the time we left our house to the time I dropped her off, and then from the time that we left from that place and went to the dealership. Because initially after I had dropped her off, I was going to do some Uber and stuff, but when the light was flashing on and off the whole time, I said, no bitch, I gotta take this to the dealership because what the fuck is going on. So I go to Ford and I tell him, I said, hey, I read the code 3 different times. It's still saying cylinder misfire every time, specifically cylinder misfire 3, bitch. I remember it. I remember them codes. So I told the dealership, I said, I don't need y'all to do a diagnostic because I already know the code. I said, I went and I checked it with the reader multiple times, and I was just like, I've also had somebody use a different reading device and it still said the same thing, so I don't need a diagnostic, bitch. I said, I think it has something to do with my recall. He was like, well, in order for us to check it out, we're gonna have to keep it up here for 4 to 5 days. I said, 4 to 5 days? What? I said, that's crazy. I was like, I need my car, like that's how I make my money. He was like, well, in order to figure it out, like that's when the next available technician will be in to check it out. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm sick as fuck, but I'm like, okay, I have to leave my car up here to figure out, you know, what the hell is going on. So then, y'all, he calls me 2 days later after I dropped off the car. So it was pretty fast of a turnaround. So he called me 2 days later to be like, hey, so it's actually not anything to do with your recall. And he listed off a whole list of things. I'm gonna see if I could find the email with like the receipt of like everything that they were telling me that was wrong with my car. And I'm like, what the fuck? Mind you, I had just got this car like a few weeks before. Like, I'm talking about hadn't even got my next paycheck yet. So like, I'm like, bitch, I just got this motherfucking car. I just got this, bitch. What are we talking about? So anyways, I tell him kindly, I'm not gonna be able to get that fixed right now, so don't even worry about fixing none of that. Don't worry about it, because I was gonna just plan on taking it up back to the dealership and see if I could switch it out for another car. But wrong, bitch, because the same day that the man called me, the dealership had called me and was like, hey, so turns out the bank didn't accept your second pay stub, because I had submitted one pay stub and an offer letter, and they were like, okay, they're gonna want to request another pay stub to just see what you make. And so when I finally submitted it a few weeks later, like 2 weeks later, he was like, oh, like they're saying you don't make enough, even though I didn't make enough. Like literally I made enough at Glossier at the time that I could afford my car note and insurance with no problem. So anyways, I'm like, what the hell? And it was like, is there any other way you could show like any proof of income? And I was like, well, the only other proof of income, I just started back doing Instacart and stuff, so it's not really gonna show like a whole big amount, because like I said, I just started back because I just got a car. Like them pay stubs is not gonna be from the last like 30 days. Like they ain't gonna be nothing. The last like consistent pay stubs that I had from that was from months ago when I had a car. So I'm explaining this to him and he was like, well, let me just see what they say, whatever. So I leave the car still at the Ford dealership and I wait for the guy to, you know, let me know what's up. He calls me 2 days later after that. So now the car had done been up there for like 5 days. And he called me 2 days after that. And he was like, hey, so yeah, the bank is not willing to work anything out with you or compromise or anything. So unfortunately, you're going to have to return the car. So I said, okay, that ain't no problem. Because in my head, I'm like, bitch, the car fucked up anyways. The car was fucked up anyways. I didn't have 2 bands to fix all them issues that I just got this car. Why am I having to come out of my pocket 2 bands because y'all sold me a fucked up car? So in my head, I said, ain't no problem with me, bitch. Like, y'all can gladly take that car. So I said, well, will I get my money back? Because I'm thinking, bitch, if I don't get my motherfucking money back, y'all are not getting this car. Like, you will never get this car back if I don't get my money back. So anyways, he was like, yeah, we'll get you your money back. And I had asked him specifically, I said, okay, do I have to have the physical card that I used to pay when I initially got the car? He was like, no, you don't. Like, we'll just issue it to you. So I said, okay, cool. So I'm trying to get the car up there and I finally go pick up the car from Ford when they tell me, oh yeah, you owe us $205. I said, $205 for what? I didn't get anything done. She was like, oh, they did a diagnostic. And I said, well, I specifically told the man multiple times not to do a diagnostic because I had already had all of the codes that was saying like what was wrong with my car. So I don't need a diagnostic, didn't need a diagnostic, and I'm not paying for a diagnostic. And I said, so can we like get a manager or something? Because I specifically told him multiple times, like, I'm not trying to pay for a diagnostic because I don't have diagnostic money, right? I kept telling that man that. And his other co-workers around heard me telling him that. So I'm like, bitch, you can't say, oh, she never said that, because bitch, everybody else heard me tell you prior to you telling me that I had to leave my car there for 4 to 5 days, that I don't need a diagnostic. So I was like, so the fact that you still went out your way and did that shit and thought you was about to just charge me, no the fuck you not, bitch. You're not doing that. And so they was like, okay, we'll get the manager. So I explained to her what happened and I reiterated, like, I literally told him multiple times not to give me a diagnostic because I had the codes. And I literally read the codes off to her. So she was like, oh, so you knew what was wrong with the car? I said, yes. That's why I had told him not to give me the diagnostic. I said, initially I told him that I thought it had something to do with my transmission because I just like got the car fixed for a recall and that was something to do with my transmission. And she was like, okay, so you seem to know what you was talking about. I'm like, yes, I do. Like, that's why I'm not trying to pay that money, because bitch, I already done told you what was up. Why are you trying to act dumb? And so she ended up fucking with me and I got to walk off without having to pay that $205 because I was not trying to pay that shit. I don't have that. I'm not trying to pay that. So we go. We drop off the car, right? I'm clearing out my stuff. And mind you, when I pull up, the guy from the finance department that like initially had me sign my paperwork, where I put my money down, and he was also the guy that was contacting me in between like me getting the car and dropping it off. He immediately was already outside. I don't know if he was like just talking to somebody else, but I did tell him like, oh, I will be dropping it off like before noon. And I had got there right at noon, which is crazy. And so I come out the car and he was like, oh, hi, Miss Frazier. How are you doing? And I'm like, I'm good. Can I just do this refund and leave? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I just need to clear out my car first. So he's like, okay, cool. So I cleared out my car. And so I started walking back up to the front. And immediately he was like, oh, did you forget something, Miss Frazier? Did you need anything else? And I was like, no, I didn't forget anything. I'm coming back for my receipt. And he was like, oh yeah, I forgot. We need to give you your refund. I said, yes, I need a physical receipt showing that you gave me my refund. I'm not going to just take your word for it. So then we go to his office and he proceeds to tell me, oh, Miss Frazier, so you need the physical card. I said, no, we're not doing this. And he was like, well, we can issue you a check. I said, okay, that's fine. And he was like, but because it's the weekend, we can't issue it to you until Monday. I said, I'm not waiting till Monday. I said, if I have to wait till Monday to get my check, you're not getting the car until Monday. I said, you told me on the phone when I asked you, did I need the physical card? You said no, I didn't need it, and that y'all were just gonna be able to do it. He was like, oh, well, I apologize, and I was like, well, we need to figure out something, because either I'm walking off this lot back with that car, or you're figuring a way to give me my refund. Then he was like, oh, well, do you maybe even know like the card like by heart or anything? And I was like, yes, I do. Like, initially I was lucky enough in that moment that I was like, oh, I actually do know the car information. And so I typed in all the car information, and I got my refund literally like issued to me the next day, which I was shocked by, because I was like, okay, babe, because I came there on a Saturday to drop off the car. And so when he issued it to me, I thought like, okay, the money's probably not going to hit my account until Monday anyways. But it was just more of a, I'm not waiting for a physical check to then have to deposit that bitch, and then depending on the bank, we don't know how long it may take for the check to deposit. And also too, sometimes banks be acting funny. Like, if you deposit a random amount of money in your account and they think it's suspicious, they'll hold that motherfucking money. So I'm like, bitch, I don't got time for the bank to try to hold my money because you want to lie on the motherfucking phone. And so I got my refund, y'all, and I got the fuck up out of there, y'all. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, I was sad as hell. Like, I was so sad. Like, I didn't cry or nothing, but I was very sad that I had to give up my car, because although it had them issues in the end, so it was kind of like, girl, you need to give that car back anyways, I still genuinely really loved that car, and I enjoyed so many moments in my car. Like, y'all, I used to love that car down. Like, I was so happy when I finally got that car and I was able to be like, oh yeah, I could go pick up my niece, or I could go pick up my nephews. Like, I was so happy to be able to say I was gonna do that. But now I can't do that because I don't got no car and I don't got no job. So it's just kind of like, you don't even got no money to put towards car. And it's just like, well, you know what, I am not gonna take it as a loss. I was like, I'm gonna take it as maybe God is trying to prepare me for something better, and I need to go through the storm to learn. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be learning, but I'm gonna figure that out at the end of the journey, of course. You know, that's always how it be. Sometimes you be like, why am I going through this? Like, what did I deserve to go through this? And it's just like, it's not until the end where you was like, damn, like, I had to go through that in order to be this better person that I want to be. And it really just starts with going through the storm, bitch. Like, sometimes you going through that motherfucking storm, bitch, and it might sweep you off your feet, and you might be like, hold on, bitch, are we going to Oz or what? But at the end of the story, you back at home, you with your family, like, period. You with the farm animals and your auntie. Like, that's how it be, dead ass. So like I said, I don't take it as an L. I take it as I'm currently in the midst of the storm, going to Oz, trying to figure out why I'm on this journey. But soon I'll be back home with the farm animals and my auntie. So with that being said, I hope y'all like this story time about why Toyota Stonecrest is the worst fucking dealership ever, and why y'all should never go to none of the dealerships at Stonecrest, period. But yeah, I hope y'all like this story time. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. I will see you lovely people later.